Um, so, so, hey, my name is Gary Burrows. I work in the retail property sector. I own a company
No
that's
titles.
yeah, no titles. I just said I own the company. I invest in several companies, and I'm a serial kind of entrepreneur. I've lived in New York. I've lived in London. I've lived in Moscow. I now live in Dubai. I've traveled the world, and I'm in an industry and a business that I love, and it's not like work. It's find something that you love doing, and you'll never have to work another day in your life. And I double down on that every day. Like most people, I fell into the industry that I'm in. It kind of arrived by accident, but then again, you reflect back and you say, well, did it arrive by accident? I found myself in the right place at the right time, and said yes enough, even though I wasn't qualified, I wasn't kind of experienced, I didn't have the knowledge base to be able to do some of the things that I said yes, I will do that. But I did. I wouldn't say there's any particular. You've got to love people. You've got to be the core of what you do. Is you've got to kind of you've got to love interacting with people, and you've got to, I like studying people. But most people do. When you say about going out for coffee, most people are people watchers, so they will sit and have coffee and watch the world go by, watch what people are wearing, watch kind of how they're behaving, watch what they're doing. Were interested in kind of people and things, and were you know inquisitive about human nature and behavior.
Hello, the world. Aha. This morning, Money Talks with a guy called Gary Burrows. It's a new story with a great mind, great stories. He's all over the world. He's like here today, but tomorrow maybe the other side of the world. Well, it's the interesting thing that who travels most sees, let's say, more cultures, have more stories to share. And that's why what grabs my attention is to invite Gary to my talk show today. And let's find out. So, good morning, Gary. How are you?
Good morning, Daniel. Thank you for the kind words and the warm introduction.
Well, I usually give the mic to my guests to present themselves, which is the best way. The best person to talk about you is you, Gary. So, who is Gary?
Okay, my name is Gary Burrows. I am the CEO and founder of ACR Partners. ACR Partners are a full service asset management company working on a global basis, but based in Dubai. We've been based in Dubai for the past 13 years, but my home is now Dubai. We work all over the world, and as you said, I travel a lot. We do a lot of stuff in the UK, in Central and Eastern Europe, in the Middle East and North Africa, and all over. So I love what I do. I'm one of those very lucky people that has found something that they love doing, and it's not like work. It's every day I kind of excited about something that some new kind of innovative, cool, interesting thing. As like you said, I go to different countries, different people, get exposed to really cool, interesting cultures, meet some amazing people. I've worked in 38 different countries now, and been involved with over 91 different kind of prime projects, malls, and big mixed use developments.
The other day I was listening to uh, I don't know, one of the social media, and one lady was challenged to introduce herself without mentioning the title or the business that they're in or their any surrounding person around them. So, are you up for this? How about that?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Give it a go.
Um, so, so, hey, my name is Gary Burrows. I work in the retail property sector. I own a company.
No title.
That's Yeah, no titles. I just said I own the company. I invest in several companies, and I'm a serial kind of entrepreneur. I've lived in New York. I've lived in London. I've lived in Moscow. I now live in Dubai. I've traveled the world, and I'm in an industry and a business that I love, and it's not like work. It's find something that you love doing, and you'll never have to work another day in your life. And I double down on that every day.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, here's the question. Like, it's not easy to find this path of especially your specialty of malls and retail consultants, and you find yourself a unique spot right there. How that story built up? Like, how did you reach there? I've decided one day that I can do this. I know about malls, and I can be a global advisor just like that. No, I imagine not.
No, well, of course you, like most people, I fell into the industry that I'm in. It kind of arrived by accident, but then again, you reflect back and you say, well, did it arrive by accident? I found myself in the right place at the right time, and said yes enough, even though I wasn't qualified, I wasn't kind of experienced, I didn't have the the knowledge base to be able to do some of the things that I said yes, I will do that. Um, but I did, and it's because I kind of love working with people. I love, I love people. So it's for me, it's a mall, the mall industry, retail property, big mixed use developments. At the core of that, at the core of the essence of kind of what we're trying to do with the built environment, is we're trying to kind of build spaces for people. And so those people enjoy and kind of have experience. It's all about the customer journey and the customer experience. And we've, heard about 5-minute cities or 10-minute cities, and building environments that people kind of love. And I love people. So, it wasn't hard for me.
Cool. I felt into this uh creating spaces for people.
Hmm.
I know, just like, for example, I've been through traveling as well, and I saw malls everywhere because, other than nature, you have to go to the market, shops. If you don't go, your wife would push you to do. So when you go to the malls in Dubai, for example, it's different life because you find everything. It's like daily life. You can consider, if you live in Dubai, you can consider your mall is your second house. It's like you find your bag, you find your shopping spot, daily groceries, your mobile phone, your anything related to your daily life. And sometimes people go there for jogging because the outdoor is
Yeah.
terrible weather. But when you go to different city, different country, and you see what mall is about. It's like only weekends, for example, and it's like part of indoor, outdoor. And people just go there for coffee and see the
Mm.
known brands and stuff. So it's like related to, I mean, the design or the spaces are related to culture as well. Am I correct about
No, you're absolutely bang on. That is a perfect analysis of it. Basically, we're creating spaces, and we're digging into the societal development. We're digging into the social, cultural, and community behaviors of the demographic within the catchment area. So how. So when we dig into the societal development, and we dig into the emotional and behavioral and community aspects of that kind of catchment area, somebody in, say, Moscow would have a very different kind of requirement for a mile space than they would in, London or
it. Yeah,
Dubai
I
or
agree.
New
Yeah,
York or wherever it may be.
it's
Um,
quite
and-
difficult.
and-
You need to
yeah,
understand the countries, the culture, the needs, and everything. Sometimes different needs in different cities in same country. Okay,
absolutely.
right?
So what the main city kind of dwellers are looking for in terms of their space is very different from what, say, a rural town is looking for, and the requirements of those space, and which is why we're starting to see more educational spaces, co-working spaces, even kind of medical going into our big mixed-use developments. So it's all about having that diversity of offer, which is why we're moving away from the old copy and paste models into more locally unique and authentic spaces, and that's what resonates with people. They want to see those kind of cool, interesting, funky, different, unique, and authentic brands. So it's a changing dynamic, and what we're trying to do is get to the core, the essence of what that community wants of their space, and being able to kind of get into the almost do the psychoanalysis analysis of the population, the catchment within that kind of for that mile, and it's just it's very, very interesting. It's the psychology of shopping. There's a really top guy, Paco Underhill, who's recently written a book, Why We Eat. That he'd written another one called Why We Shop, and then The Call of the Mile. He digs into the psychology of what we're doing and why we're shopping, and you can take it back to Neanderthal times when we were on the savannah hunting the woolly mammoth, and you can get into kind of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and at that point we were killing the woolly mammoth for food and dragging it back to the village. And when we chopped up the woolly mammoth and ate the woolly mammoth, it's interesting that biologically, when you're eating, your heart rate reduces by 10%. So what that is, it removes the fight and flight syndrome of killing the woolly mammoth on the savannah. And when you're eating, your body says, "Hey, I'm not at risk anymore," which is why food and beverage is a big growth sector for malls and meeting places. It's why when we kind of see something that we like in the shop, it's almost we're going out hunting for something kind of new, and we have that within our kind of DNA, within whether you call it Neanderthal brain or lizard brain or kind of chimp brain, whatever.
Is it purely psychology? This is like my concern, or like I was paying attention. Like if I'm in a automotive industry, I would say, yeah, I have a mechanical engineering background, so I understand what you're talking about, and I understand engines and stuff like that. By the way, I am a mechanical engineer. But when you go to the mall and you say, my background is what? Psychology, interior design, um, human society, whatever. So, what is the background necessity for this, for such a job you're doing?
I wouldn't say there's any particular. You've got to love people. You've got to be the core of what you do. Is you've got to kind of you've got to love interacting with people, and you've got to, I like studying people. Well, but most people do. When you say about going out for coffee, most people are people watchers, so they will sit and have coffee and watch the world go by, watch what people are wearing, watch kind of how they're behaving, watch what they're doing. Were interested in kind of people and things, and were inquisitive about human nature and behavior. And it's very interesting to see that when somebody goes and buy those killer pair of heels that they've found in kind of a very nice, smart, expensive shop, and then go out for go to a party or go to an event and see somebody else wearing those same killer pair of heels, it totally devalues the experience. Because somebody else has also got them. When you think you
Yeah,
unique and authentic and kind of, so it's interesting. What's also interesting is just talking about the food and beverage aspect.
Mm.
Historically, we all used to sit round the dinner table at home in a family environment, and we would eat. And it would reflect back to that Neanderthal brain or chimp brain or lizard brain, whatever you want to call it. But your kind of how you behave and how you feel comfortable in that family environment. It's interesting that most families now eat out, so they don't eat together at home; they eat out together, which psychologically means that the mall is an extension of your home.
yeah.
So what we've done is we've extended, we've wrapped in, we've made the mall or the meeting place or the placemaking methodology part of as an extension psychologically to your home. So you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed, you feel in your meet with family in that space. You eat there, you enjoy the space, you shop there, you go to leisure and entertainment, you go to the cinema, so all of these things you now do at the mall, when historically, certainly me growing up, you could run around outside with a football and then get called in to have dinner with your family in the evening. Now,
So how is that going to be replaced with a digital world of the metaverse and digital malls they're coming up with, and they're selling real estate on digital world? How is that feeling going to be exchanged in that digital areas? I don't think so. What what do you say about it when you are in the field? Is it all going to be digital?
No, it's a very interesting question. I think prop tech is going to play a big part in our future. When you get into, there's a futurist called William Gibson. He said the future's already here. It's just unevenly distributed. Now, when you consider that, and for me in the mall industry, I look at bits of technology in somewhere in New York or in Dubai or in London, or that's the smartest, best, most kind of cutting edge technology, and that helps improve the customer journey and the customer experience. And the more that we know about the customer in terms of profiling, then the better we can communicate with that customer. and the better we can interact with the customer, and the better service that we can provide for them in a form of overall concierge type service. So the more we know about somebody, the better we can service their needs and wants at their point of need, or even kind of in advance of that by predictive modeling when they go on holiday, or when they, or want to change the phone, or when they, want to change the car, or whatever it may be. Predictive modeling the individual, and I'm cool with that. I don't mind that, because the easier my life is, in terms of, hey, I will just end up using a phone for years without changing it. But if somebody sends me a message to say, hey, Gary, you've had this phone for 2 years, we're going to send you this awesome deal, I might actually go, hey, yeah, cool, I'll take that deal. But when you get into that prop tech is changing people's lives and enhancing people's shopping experience. There's a new technology out now called Times X. And Times X is, instead of you wandering aimlessly around a mall looking for the killer pair of heels, not that I'm looking for a killer pair of heels, but if you're kind of looking for those killer pair of heels, or the suit, or the shirt, or the cufflinks, whatever it may be, if you, instead of spending ages endlessly wandering around, you can go to this digital screen which has a camera above it, and that camera looks at your body mass index. It looks at your skin tone, your eye color, your hair color, your height, your kind of your dimensions, and it's a fashion stylist AI with all of the product in that mall, and that gives you a full fashion stylist kind of look. And then it will give you, hey, you can buy this in Massimo Dutti, you can buy the shirt in kind of, here, you can buy the cufflinks there and the shoes there. So, and it will give me a map of where I can find these products. And hey, I can get that job done in half an hour instead of 3 hours of wandering around and never finding what I truly want or need. So prop tech is a game changer, and in terms of understanding the customer and servicing the customer's need and enhancing the customer journey and the customer experience. So I see that is out there, and that will help enhance our experience. AI will enhance everything that we do and make it easier and less problematic. However, I totally agree with you that we're all social animals. And there was a research study that was done recently saying that 80% of people that shopped online would still go physically shopping, because it's all part of the experiential process of going and having the coffee and watching the world go by and seeing what other people are doing and just interacting, because we are social animals. And that comes down to the limbic brain, where your kind of emotional sensors come from, which is why Ferraris are red and Lamborghinis are yellow, because they're bright, kind of dynamic, vibrant colors. And it's instead of going for the easy
I got you.
1.1 liter, you go with the V8 red Ferraris because it's triggering your limbic brain, and it can be fed back to so many different aspects. Your frontal cortex is your human brain, and that gives you that's who Gary Burrows is. That's Mr. Logic, Mr. Well, I'm not going to buy the V8 Ferrari because that doesn't give me the economy that I want, and it's going to be bad for the environment. And so my logic is overridden every time by my emotional center, which was my limbic brain. So we are all about creating emotional reactions in people because your emotional reactions override your logic and spend more.
Here's one quick question. It's not a quick question, but it's like in 2 minutes.
Sure.
Throughout your traveling almost the whole world and throughout your career, what has been the most memorable or amusing moment you've had in the world of retail or property or even traveling? That story that stuck there. Every time you remember that, it gives you a smile.
There's been so many to be fair. There's been so many. I remember being down in Zagreb, in Croatia, and we'd arranged for to do a premiere of Angelina Jolie's. She directed a film. I think it was her debut, and it's called In the Land of Blood and Honey. And anyway, she came for the for the premiere, and I hosted her as the head of the asset management company. And I ended up walking around with Angelina Jolie for 3 hours and sat with her at the to watch this movie.
Beautiful.
And so things like that are just amazing. And I look back, and sometimes I talk to people about it. And no, you didn't do that. So yes, the pictures are there, and it's quite. So anything like that. We in one property we drilled down a water well because the cost of utilities had increased. So we started pumping water into the well and cleaned the water. And we got an amazing award from the Prime Minister, who gave us this Green and Sustainability Award. And I chose not to go, but I gave the honor to our head of operations, and he went with his family, and it was such an amazing thing for him. It was a big moment for him. And it's being able to do things like that for other people. I've had so many amazing experiences in my life, but I get a kick out of doing things for other people and seeing them, happy and because it's not about me, it's about the team, and that's it. It's a team effort.
Two quick questions before we wrap it up because the time just go away.
Yeah.
2 things left in your bucket list for this year or the coming years.
Some things I've got. I haven't got. It's not called a bucket list because that seems so terminal, like kicking the bucket. So I don't have a bucket list. I have a wonder list. So where am I going to wander around the world next? Where am I going to go to next? What cool, interesting, fun thing? So next April, I'm doing advanced base camp on Everest with my son and a team of us. So we're doing that for charity. So that would be fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So I love mountain climbing. So the end of this year, we launch a new company called Occupy. And Occupy is a game changer within our industry. And it is the next gen of global brokerage, a digital kind of brokerage, the first online global brokerage that will become the Airbnb of retail property. So that's two major.
That's a big cheer for you. Really, that's a big jump. I believe that we should have another call again when you are.
Sure. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Okay, amazing. Okay, one last wrapping question.
Mm.
Name one habit you look to gain or get rid of in 2023.
One habit. I don't know. What habit?
I love one.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, I do. I know. I probably, overtraining is probably, or I tell you what, what I'm going to try to do is be more focused with my time because generally when people say, "Hey, Gary, come to this," I'm there. I'm kind of always there. I need to be a bit more focused with my time and kind of um, yeah, my certainly with certain things that are happening in my personal life in the next few months. So I have a new baby on the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Congrats.
thank you, thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
But
so I've got to be more focused.
yeah. And thank you very much, really, for the amazing insights you have brought to this table today. And I enjoyed every second. I was like keeping silent, but I was listening a lot of what's happening to the world. And you're just like dealing with communities and thinking
Mm.
of psychology of communities and cultures, rather than just like only individuals. And this is a great thing. This is something like you're reading communities, you're reading people's minds with their own groups, starting from family into a bigger
Yeah.
group and bigger group. And you'll see that it's not only that individuals should decide where to go and what they like, it's like what's the trend is doing in the mall industry, what's digital world is doing, what's the that's really amazing, and that's like very interesting to know more and to keep following up what's happening. So I will invite you again, definitely, after the end of the year when you start your own, and let's see how is it going. I mean, definitely there will be a place for opportunities just like that in Dubai because they will care to be number one. This is like what
Absolutely.
we know about Dubai. Well, that was a pleasant time I spent with you, and thank you very much for accepting my invitation, Gary.
Thank you, Daniel. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, amazing. And for you, our viewers, thank you very much for watching Money Talks. Stay tuned for a more great minds, great stories. Nice to see you. Bye bye, Gary.
Bye bye.